In today's video, we get premiums like pocket aces and get in tricky situations twice with ace queen. Boys here back with another video, episode 21 the bankroll challenge. Today our starting bankroll is 125.04, paying some no limit 2. We buying for our typical 4 chips, putting our current bankroll up in the top right as always at 121.04. Jumping into our first hand of the evening, we got pocket nines right here. I'm in the under the gun +1 position. I decided to raise it up to 0.06 chips. We get 2 callers right here, and now we're waiting on the button to add to hopefully he gets out of the way, because the button could be a little more open in his range and he can get some more disguised 2 pairs, but unfortunately he puts in the call, the small blind folds, and now the big blind also puts in the call. So very dicey, especially when the board comes ace ace 8. Like I said, the button might have a looser range with some type of A7 or something like that, so you can easily have 3 of a kind. But I'm going to raise up right here, just put on the aggression to 0.16 chips, and we get the first 3 people to fold, which is absolutely beautiful. Now the big blind wakes up and puts in the call. He decides to check the 10 clubs on the turn, which is going to allow me to keep potentially barreling off right here, which I'm thinking about. I go about half pot, maybe a little bigger. I go 0.32 chips, and he folds and we take down the first hand of the night using my pair of nines as acting like they are a bit stronger than what they actually were. But jumping right into the very next hand, surprisingly, I have pocket nines again. I thought I was seeing double, seeing deja vu. But I'm gonna raise this one up to 0.06 chips, just like the last hand. I'm not gonna let this limp around. And now we're gonna wait. We're gonna get some quick people to fold, which is a lovely sight to see. And now we're waiting on the cutoff, which is the button from last hand. He puts in the call, and so does the guy before me to app puts in the call. So 3 ways to flop a queen 10-6. Obviously, I'm going to use the same type of method I used in the last time. I'm going to be the aggressor post flop right here. I go 0.10 chips. We get 1 caller and the other person calls, so kind of dicey. Now the 4 diamond comes onto the board, which completes any diamond flush draw that they might have had. Maybe I should have went a little bit bigger just so they won't get there. And now the 6 of diamonds, obviously scary. I don't have a diamond in my hand. They could easily have a diamond, especially when he leads out right there. And I'm just going to decide to fold this one and move on with the day. Now onto our first feature hand, the eating. I got the pocket aces, as you guys see in the opening. Obviously the best hand in poker. Couldn't be more happier with that. And we get a bet right here to 0.06 chips. So right here, obviously I'm not gonna slow play this. I'm gonna try to raise it up. Not too big, but it's just enough so you can put in a call. I raise it up 0.24 chips. He thinks about it a little bit and he folds. So I get absolutely no action with my aces. Maybe I should play it slow, but I don't really like to play it like that. But now for this one, I got ace and offsuit in the cutoff. I raise it up to 0.06 chips. We get the button to fold, so I'm gonna be last to act. Now it's just on the blinds to put in, and they also fold pre-flop. So the action's not the greatest here so far. But hopefully with the hand right after a queen jack, that will change right here. I'm gonna raise it up to 0.06 chips again. Hopefully the cutoff and button also fold, so I can have ultimate position again. But they also fold. Hopefully this guy does not fold, and we get no action for the third straight hand. Not looking too good, to be honest with you. I'm getting premium hands, just not getting any action right here. But hopefully this ace jack offsuit will change that. I raise it up to 0.08 chips. We get the button to fold, which is always a good. And now we get 1 caller, so we get some action right here of a board 2 queen queen on the flop. He checks it right away. And I'm gonna put in a bet right here. I'm gonna go about 0.10, about half pot. It's not the biggest, but it's doable right here. And now he puts in the call, he checks. I was checking his stats just because curious. With the 8 on the turn, I'm gonna slow down and check it. And now we see a 10 on the river. The heart draw gets there. So I can represent. I have a heart draw with the ace of hearts in my hand. He decides to bet to 0.29 chips, which is kind of large given the pot size. And I feel like maybe ace high is good here. So I'm going to put in the call. And he had 3 of a kind. So it was ultimately soul playing those sets of queens right there. And now we got another premium hand, pocket kings right here. I'm gonna raise it to 0.06 chips in the small blind. We're gonna get one card, and the flop's gonna come 3-10 queen. So obviously I love this, so I put in a little raise of 0.07 chips, and he folds again. So this table is not it right now. And then I landed switching tables. Just there was no action. I just felt like even when I wasn't playing a hand, it just all the hands were kind of going like that. So I just bought in for the amount of chips I had on the table was 3.75. We chipped down a little bit because it took me a while to get into a good hand, but we're onto our first hand of the table. I had king queen offsuit, three ways to the flop of jack ace five, so I have a straight draw. And that's pretty much it. They can easily have aces in the range, especially when he leads out with a decently sized bet of 0.13 chips. I kind of wanted to continue, given, like I said, I haven't had any action so far. And obviously, if I hit that 10, I'm probably going to scoop the whole pot and scoop all their chips, given that they might have an ace or some type of two pair with this. So that's what I'm contemplating right now. But I decide to fold. I'm just going to check to see. I would hit my 10, so kind of annoying, honestly. I would have had, I probably, like I said, I probably could have stacked them with that straight right there, but we're gonna move on right here. I got a suit connector, 5-4 suit. I'm gonna raise it up to 0.06 chips. We're gonna get everyone to fold except for the person right behind me. He's eventually gonna put in the call. He's gonna take his sweet time with that one. And the flop's gonna come 4-8-5. So I flop a disguise two pair in a way. Obviously, I can have 5-4 in my range, given it's a suit connector. But I doubt he'll ever think of putting me on that type of hand. He takes a while to think about it again, and he takes all the time to check. It's kind of interesting. Maybe he has a heart in his hand, but I'm gonna bet right here. I'm gonna go about 0.10 chips. He immediately calls, so interesting. Like I said, maybe he has some type of heart in his hand. Now the 10 of diamonds on the river. Maybe he has a 10. Maybe he has something like Jack 10, Queen 10, something that would be willing to put in the call right there. But he decides to check a 10 again. So I'm gonna go half pot, see if he snaps this one off. Hopefully I can take this one down right here and not see a river card that's kind of scary for him. And I do take that one down right there. We win our first hand, the new table. Now, not too long after that one, I'm looking down at ace queen right here. There is a bet before in 2.5 chips. And this is definitely my 3-bet range, especially given the middle position I'm in. So I'm going to go about 4 times the initial raise right here. Hopefully squeeze out the person in between. And hopefully get everyone else to fold and play this one. Just heads up is what I'm hoping for. When that doesn't happen, when the button puts in the call. So I'm just curious. Like I said, I'm still new to this table. He doesn't raise a lot, but he does put in a lot of chips in the middle. So, but flop comes 3-10 queen. The original raiser decides to check it over to me. I'm gonna keep betting, given that I have top pair, best kicker possible right here. I'm gonna bet zero point 0.2 chips. Hopefully, this is good enough for a queen to stay. Maybe he has king queen or something like that. And then he jabs all in right here. I'm just thinking. I don't think he has kings or aces because he should four bet me. If he has queen 10, then so be it. I put in the call, and he has pocket 8, so I have him completely dominated. The rest of the round is good. I take down a first good hand of the night. Thankfully, I switch tables. Sometimes when you're just not feeling it or the table's too greedy, sometimes you just gotta cut your losses and switch tables like that. Now we're in a good spot. The person from last hand raises up again. I have ace queen again, but this time in the button. So I'm gonna 3-bet this one. I'm gonna go to 0.14 chips, I believe, right here. Hopefully we get these guys. I get one of them to fold, and he re-raises me, which is not the greatest. But he also might be on tilt from the last hand. And this other guy just decides to call, and for the amount of chips it is, I'm gonna put in the call as well. The flop couldn't come any better when it's 5 queen queen. They both shove all in. Easiest decision of my life. I have a set, and I'm up against another set, but a worse kicker and pocket sims that went down another massive pot of the night.
Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
We definitely needed those 2 wins, and now we're up piles and piles right here. As you guys see, my chip counts 9.6 is around 9.6 right now, so we are definitely good. 9.82. I am sorry, but I'm looking at Ace King again. I'm gonna raise it up to 0.6 chips, and the guy that I stacked twice, I believe, puts in the call. The Fox gonna come 4, 4, 10, and when I get big stacks like this, I like to use it and like to bully the other people at the table and be hyper aggressive and take that one down with just ace high. So that's just my thoughts and gameplay. Obviously, I'm not a tournament player. I know that happens a lot more in tournaments, but like I said, when I get big stacks and up big, I like to use my stacks to my advantage. I open up more hands than what I usually do, just given that I'm way deeper in them. I can always shove all in. But right here, I got king nine suited of spades. I'm gonna raise it up right here at 0.06 chips. I'm in the under gun +1 position. Probably shouldn't be opening this in this position with this type of hand strength. But like I said, when my stack is big, I like to open up my gameplay. Just hit some disguise two pairs and stuff like that, and then I could just just represent hands that I don't have and show that I have monsters. But right here we go, three ways to the flop is seven deuce queen, so I have nothing. It checks around to the turn, which is a six of diamonds. My flush draw is dead. I'm sitting here with king high. I don't really love the position, but this guy decides to raise it up to point 10. I sense weakness at the table. I'm gonna turn my hand into a bluff right here, like the name of this video. Like I said, I like to open up my gameplay. I'm gonna raise it up right here at 0.36 chips. Obviously not the biggest, but just enough, I believe. And now with the ace of diamonds, I love this card. I'm gonna use this to represent either I have a diamond flush or I have an ace and I go big again. I take that one down with my probably the best bluff I made so far in this video. Now for this hand right here, I got ace five. The flop was 7-3-4, so I'm a six away from a straight. I raise it up right here at 0.06 chips, and we get re-raised right here. Given that I'm up so big, I want to put in this call since I'm one away from the straight. I can also hit an ace. But if I wasn't up this big, I'll probably just fold. And good thing I did put in the call because I actually hit the straight. I doubt he has anything in this range. Maybe he just has two overcards, or maybe he has a eights or nines. He puts in another bet. I'm gonna call. I'm just in the check call range. Now with the river giving us a nine, I'm gonna check it over. He bets again, and that's exactly what I want. I want to re-raise him right here. I'm gonna go all the way up to one full chip, just enough to show, hey, maybe I'm potentially bluffing. I feel like it's three times the original raise. I'm over representing my hand, but no, I take it down, and with another good hand right there, I'm up bounds and leaps right here, and now I'm looking at ace seven of spades in the button. There is a bet to 0.06 chips. I'm probably gonna put in this call, if not re-raise it. I think, like I said, I'm up a lot right now. I can open up my play style, but I'm just gonna call and just hopefully see something we like on the flop, which is gonna be ace eight king. So obviously I hit top pair mediocre kicker. It looks like it's gonna come around to me with someone putting in point 10 chip bet right there. I'm just gonna put in the call because I do have top pair potential backdoor flush draw. Even though I'm not counting on it until the queen of spades comes onto the board. Obviously, Jack 10 gets you there for a straight. I don't think anyone should have that though, just given how the hand's been played. Now the nine of diamonds on the river. There's a decent bet to 0.37 chips, and I just feel like he has to have a king. Maybe he has king queen. Maybe he has king jack. But I don't know. I just don't really love the position I'm in. I'm just gonna fold that one and move on. I don't want to torch away too much of my stack. I still want to play smart, even though I want to use this big stack to bully. And right here, I'm looking at Jack 10 in the cutoff. Obviously, you shouldn't really be opening too many Jack 10s. But like I said, I'm gonna call this bet right here. Especially I'm in the cutoff. Jack 10 is not the greatest hand. Kind is dominated by other hands. You're kind of just looking for one flop and one flop only, either like some type of straight draw or some type of jack high board. And I get neither when the flop comes 9-3 ace. Obviously, I have the 10 of spades in my hand with three spades on the board. They're doing the good old bet one big blind, so I'm not going anywhere for one big blind. Now the turn gives us a three of diamonds, and he does another big blind again. So just I'm gonna stick around for it. I don't think this is how you get value out of a hand. I don't think he's doing this. I think he's just looking for maybe another spade. Now with the ace on the river, he decides to bet big again, and I decide fold. Maybe that's the way he was able to maximize the amount of value, but I just feel like there's other ways to play that rather than just betting one big blind. But after that one, I'm looking down at pocket sixes. I'll raise it to 0.6 chips. We're gonna go multi ways to the flop. Six ace 10. Obviously, I hit a set, but there's all diamonds on the board. I don't like it, obviously. Not the greatest, but I can't go anywhere. They're doing the good old bet one big blind thing again, so I'm just gonna raise it up to 0.10 chips. I'm not gonna let that stand, especially since the strength of my hand. Like I said, maybe he's doing this for value, but I doubt it. And now with the four of hearts on the turn, I'm just gonna shove all in, try to get his remaining stack in. If he wants to play for it, he'll play for it. He had ace four, so he just had two. He had two pair, a sneaky two pair, but I take down my pocket sixes. And now we're gonna move on to this one. I got king ten of spades right here in the under gun position. I'm gonna raise it up to 0.06 chips. We're gonna go three ways to the flop of 3-5-5. So I'm just saying here with king high, a potential backdoor spade draw. But I'm gonna be the aggressor right here and put in another big bet. And I take that one down. And that's not really a bluff, but using the aggression to my favor. Now for this one right here, I got king 10 again, but now it's offsuit. There is a raise right behind 0.04 chips. I'm gonna put in the call. We'll go multi ways to the flop. 10-4 queen. So I flop second pair on this board. Second best kicker. I'm in a decent spot, honestly. They might have a queen in the hand, but second pair with second best kicker, it's doable, very doable, let's just say. And now right here, he's taking a while to figure out what he's gonna do. He's gonna take up the whole time just to check it over to me. And I need some protection out of my hand, I believe. So I'm gonna put into a bet of 0.10 chips. Hopefully get any weaker hands out there. Hopefully I can get a queen to fold, but maybe that's not the right size. I think a queen would probably call any size right here. But now he decides to check over to me, and since he's checking, I'm gonna use his checks to punish him. I'm gonna go pretty big. I'm gonna go 0.26 chips right here, and I'm gonna take that one down. If he had a queen, maybe I was just showing that I had a better queen, with just the sizing of the pot right there. So that table's change definitely saved my session to say the least. But we're gonna leave that table with a stack of 11.89 chips, so bringing our new ending stack at 132.93, as you see right there in the video. So giving us a difference in this single session of plus 7.89 chips, almost two full buy-ins. So pretty good. Thankfully I switched tables, guys. But thank you guys so much for watching, making it to the end of this video. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and see y'all in the next one.